Mater is the greatest, best friend that anybody could ever have.
He's sincere. He doesn't lie to you. He tells you the way it is.
He's one of those folks that, you know right away that you can be friends with them.
He's a complex character, actually. He's just very genuine.
The story of Mater starts back on a trip on Route 66, early in the development of cars. Joe Ranft, the co-writer, head of story, co-director of the movie, and I.
Welcome to Route 66. See y'all later. Bye now.
And we turned this corner in Galena, Kansas. And there in this old abandoned gas station were these rusty trucks and cars. And one of them was this tow truck. And I caught Joe looking at this tow truck. And there was something about it that just touched Joe, that really, really touched him. And he started drawing.
And at the time, we had this truck character, and his name was Zeb, and he was just supposed to be kind of a hillbilly truck in town. And Joe was doing the voice for the scratch.
You know, one time there was this pickup named Betty who lived next door. I used to crash into her just to make her angry. But then I started wondering if maybe I crashed into her just so I could talk with her.
That pureness and that earnest of heart he has is Joe.
The sort of non sequitur, weird, bizarre, sometimes creepy humor that was very Joe.
He won 3 piston cups.
He did what in his cup?
This feeling that Joe put into it kind of became Zeb, what was Zeb, and then became Mater.
You know, I used to crash into her just so I could spoke to her.
He's got the biggest heart. He is funny as can be.
Anybody feels like, oh yeah, Mater'd be a fun guy to hang out with.
He's happy, he makes people happy, he'll make you laugh. And I like to make people laugh.
In October 2001, I went to Charlotte, North Carolina, to Lowe's Motor Speedway, and they took me to a place called Redneck Hill, a small rise in the middle of Lowe's Motor Speedway. And there they introduced me to the self-appointed mayor of Redneck Hill, a guy by the name of Mater.
My name's Mater.
Mater?
To a Mater without the toe. I said, Mater.
Yeah, like tuh Mater, but without the tuh.
So now how'd you get that name?
Well, when I was a little fella, I was raised up on the farm, and if I wasn't eating a tomato, I throwing them at the hogs and just terrorizing everything I could.
So when we were developing this tow truck character, we had a tentative name that we were not too happy with. And I thought, what about Mater?
And I said I'd be honored.
We'll talk later, Mater. Later, Mater. That's funny.
Ah! It's a combination. The character is a big part of Joe Ranft, the real Mater in Charlotte, North Carolina, and of course, the amazing actor, Larry the Cable Guy.
I feel beautiful. Hey, everybody, how do I look?
When I go to do Mater, it's just basically me.
Oh, buddy, I've been up there for near 2 hours, but boy, it was worth it.
I love pert near. Do that again.
I grew up with people that talked like that, and all my friends talked like that, I come from a farming community and was just pretty laid back.
And if anybody asks you, we was out smashing mailboxes, okay?
That's great.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not drywalling a house, so to me, this ain't difficult.
When you've got a vocal performance that's as good as what you get from Larry the Cable Guy, it's almost like half your work is done for you. Take what was funny about the dialogue and make it even funnier through the body performance.
Oh, getting cozy at the cone, is we?
Oh. Bob Pauly designed Mater, and we wanted to do an in-house design for him, inspired by trucks from the mid-'50s. And just feel like a very simple American pickup truck from a time, from a long time ago. And then little things we did on Mater, like none of the tread patterns match. He has all mismatched tires on him. Some of them are balding. A lot of rust in places, mismatched parts, broken parts, and yet it all kind of works together.
That kind of patina and wear and richness of texture that you get only with kind of being out in the sun and the rain. And these guys have kind of earned their paint jobs. It's like their merit badges of time and history. They have this kind of authenticity to them.
Mater was a kind of a very specific type of rust, this Western style rust that JL talks about, which is the upward facing. the sun bakes the paint off and then the rust comes from the outside in.
Sort of smooth, velvety rust, if that makes any sense at all. East Coast rust is more created by dampness.
Mater has a lot of extra articulation and movement ability over other characters.
You know, he's got the cab and he's got the bed, which allows you to sort of move the two things independently. So sometimes you can treat it like a dog's tail, or you can treat it like hips if you want to wiggle his hips. And then he's got the toe arm that he can actually do things with. He's definitely the cartooniest of the Cars characters.
And his face, it's instantly like funny, and there's so much character just in his mouth. When you're drawing him, at least, he's a fun character to draw. The way his wheels can go out and turn make it way easier for there to be more expression. And then his tow hook and the crane, like, you can create silhouettes that are like, express more.
Ole!
Mater's not exactly the smartest chip in the, cookie box. See what I mean? I'm Mater. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Mater's not the smartest guy in the world, but Mater's got great common sense.
He's a silly, goofy guy that you don't seem to take too seriously, but every once in a while he would be the character that would say something that actually is kind of deep.
He doesn't care what he's like on the outside. It's what's on the inside that makes him so rich.
I don't think he's a liar. Mater's a storyteller, and there's a difference because there's no harm in it.
It was a UFO, and I know, 'cause I done seen one once.
He's the kind of character you really expect to embellish about his past or come up with some crazy idea or story.
Well, I was a big rock star. I used to wrestle truck bigger than that. Roger, Dodger, Roger.
It doesn't matter if Mater's in Europe or Mater's in Russia or Mater's in Radiator Springs. Mater will always be Mater. He is what he is, and he is who you like.